Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, the host of Helping the Brave. Let's bring in our guests today. There's a couple of them, which is unusual for us. Usually it's just me and one guest, but family comes together, I guess, all the time. So these are the Johnsons. I got Gino and I have Ranger Johnson. How you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic, Ed. Thanks for having us, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks for putting up with all my scolding in the beginning.
All good, man. It's all good.
Yeah. I just like to have a really good show so people will listen to it. That's what I care about, because if you sound like Gilbert Gottfried, no one's going to listen to you, and only your dad knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so I always ask first question, and we'll go by age. I know you're in the Army, but why did you choose the Army?
Well, that's a great conversation. When I was in the 7th grade, I saw a crazy movie called The Green Berets. John Wayne, my hero, starred in it. Now, I'm a country boy from East Texas, grew up with 3 TV channels, channel 3, 6, and 12, backwoods to East Texas. So seeing John Wayne in a movie made me say, I want to be a Green Beret. Now, I had no idea what that was. All I knew is John Wayne looked cool with a Green Beret on, and I thought it was good. So I've always wanted to be in the Army since I was a kid. Had no idea what it would take to do it, but that's my story, man. I saw him, and that was like, that's what I want to become, a Green Beret.
And I'm sorry, but back to your 3 channels thing. I grew up in Colorado. You had to get up and turn the channel on the TV to the next station. Unlike what we get today, you get all these channels and you use a remote. All right, Gino, what service were you in?
Did not serve.
You didn't serve? Get out of here.
I got to get off the call. I served by being raised by a drill sergeant and, Ranger, Green Beret. So, we had a home culture of get it done quick, make your bed up, running hot off low. When it's time to go, it's time to go. But of course, all the respect to anybody who did serve. I appreciate everybody who has. So I love to do what we get to do in serving vets.
All right. Now, everybody in the family served except for Gino? How many people are in the service? I don't know how many people in the family, so I don't.
Yeah. I got a total of 5 adult kids. One of my sons is a combat veteran, James. He was a truck driver during the first Gulf War, and then my son Trey, we call him Trey Terry Jr. He's a naval officer, and I've learned this. He's a lieutenant, which is an 03, which is the captain in the Army, but it's a lieutenant in the Navy.
Yep, that's correct.
It's taken me a while to learn that. But I know he's an 03. That's what he is in the Navy right now.
Yeah. When I was in the Navy, I was a corpsman, and it took forever to make rank because nobody got out. In my rating, it's filled up with a lot of different people who never get out until it's 20.
That's right.
They stay in forever, and that wasn't for me. So.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so then I'm going to ask more about your Ranger Johnson than you down there, Gino. So just stay there for a second. Okay. All right, so you were in for what? 20 how long?
Years, man. I went in
30 years?
20.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference in that 20 years in the Army. People, everything.
Man, I loved it, man. I hear that, but listen, dude. I tell you, I'm a country boy, man. When they told me I could jump out of planes and blow stuff up and shoot guns and they were going to pay me, I thought this is cool. I do that now. Ain't nobody paying me nothing. And so joining the Army to me was fantastic. I got a chance to go in first as an infantryman, Fort Lewis, Washington, 1st Duty Station, the Great Northwest, up a little north from where you live. And did that for 18 months. Went to Germany. I was in Berlin, Germany from 1982 to 84. When the Berlin Wall was around Berlin, right? And had a crazy. Now I'm gonna tell him what he used to say. My first platoon sergeant, Sergeant Higgs, he said, "Don't make me act like a redneck, son." He was from East Tennessee, and he said, "I see something in you, Johnson. You're gonna be a drill sergeant." I said, "No, Sergeant Higgs, I want to be a Ranger in the Green Beret." He says, "No, you're not." What do you mean? He says, "You're going to learn more about how to write plans, how to train people by becoming a drill sergeant." So he went and got the packet and brought it to his office and he said, "Sign here." So at the age of 21, I graduated from drill sergeant school. and became a U.S. Army drill sergeant. Did that for 2 years. And after that, I went on to become a ranger school, served in the 1st Ranger Battalion, Savannah, Georgia, 2 years there. And then I went on to become a Green Beret, Special Forces Assessment and Selection, weapons sergeant. So I lived the dream, man. I tell everybody, when you jump out of an airplane, when you wake up in Panama and you're from East Texas and you ain't never been nowhere, and you go, this is cool. And a few months later, you go to Bolivia, Honduras, and all over the world doing what you enjoy doing. So my military career, I'm that lifer, Ed, that I would have done 30 years. The reason I only did 20 is I jacked my back up in the Ranger Battalion, and I had degenerative disc L5S1. And by the time I had 20 years in as an E8, I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't do anything. So I literally had to retire at 20 years.
Now that we're here, I want to talk about this part of it. So when that happened and you retired, I assume you got what you're doing now came out of that whole process.
Oh my God, you must be a smart Navy guy. They told me Navy people were smart.
No, I'm just a smart guy. That's why I got out of the Navy. Because I remember people asking me, when I got out, you're gonna go in reserves? I'm like, no, because you'll go back. The Navy stands for one thing: never again volunteer yourself.
I love it, man.
Yeah, for like Rotary and other stuff. I'm talking. That's the Navy. But go ahead.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
I just know how certain stories unfold and people do things that usually have affected them, because I've dealt with a lot of people. And I interviewed a guy who fought the VA for since the 80s, and he talked about it, and now he helps a lot of vets and stuff like that. So,
well, that's exactly what happened with me. When I retired, get this, 20 years in the Army, you can see the uniform back there. The only thing I didn't do was Delta Force. I did all the the hardcore stuff, the stuff they write books about and make movies. I've been there, done it, got the T-shirt. When I retired,
so that's because John Wayne was your idol,
that's
not
right.
Norris. Yeah.
That's right. So when I retired after 20 years with 120 jumps out of airplanes, over 120, and a jacked up back, went to the VA. They gave me 10% disability. That's it. Nothing else.
Wow.
And, I always talk about this. The Bible says, be angry, but don't sin. I'm still angry at the VA. Why did I felt I earned these benefits, but they gave me 10%. And I'll never forget, after that happened to me, I was retired. I was at a basketball game, and one of my friends who retired the same time I did, and I asked him, so what did the VA give you? He was like, 70%. I'm like, how did this guy get 70? I got 10. Didn't understand it. So it left me on a journey that took 17 years. And I retired in 2000. I didn't get to 100% permanent total until January 2017.
Wow.
And when I got there, what happened was, because I write and publish books, I'm a writer. I simply remember writing the 6 steps that I took. I didn't do it to start a business. I was so angry because I'm thinking they can teach you how to drive a ship, fly an aircraft, put a weapon together. There should be a course on how to teach you how to get VA benefits. So I wrote it, right? And one of the first people I helped, I live in South Louisiana, so I'm driving to Dallas. You'll love this story, Ed. I'm driving to Dallas to see my dad who lives in Dallas. I stop at a gas station. Of course, I got my Ranger hat on. You got to have your paraphernalia on, right? And I got it on, and this guy says, hey, you in the Army? I said, yeah, brother. Had a worker's hat on. He's working on the road. He said, man, I'm a combat vet. I said, really? You got your VA benefits? And you know how this story's going to go. Yeah. Oh, man, the VA, no, absolutely not. They messed me over. I said, listen, I just wrote a program. I don't even know how to help you. Understand? This is the first guy that ever asked me after I wrote this stuff. I said, give me your name and email. When I get to the next stop, I'll email you this 6 steps. I emailed it to him and forgot about it. Literally forgot about it. A year goes by. Now it's May 2018. My phone rings. I got everybody listening to this vet. So, hey, vet. I answered like I remember who he was. Hey, Ranger Johnson, you remember me? I said, brother, I'm sorry. I meet so many people. Who are you? You met me at a gas station off I-20 by Terrell, Texas. Now I know. Yeah, man. How you doing? What's going on? He says, I made it. I said, you made what? I got my VA benefits. Of course, I said, how? He said, I did what you said, what you emailed me. I followed those 6 steps. I said, wow, that's amazing. And then he said, that ain't it though, brother. I got more to tell you. I said, what? He said, I got my back pay. I said, how much? He said, $150,000 for me and another, $13,000 because I had a daughter. I said, $163,000. Now get this, Ed. This was a 15-minute conversation at a gas station. I didn't teach him anything. I simply emailed that to him and forgot about it. That's when I knew I had something. And then I started volunteering, helping family members, church members, just people. And what I found out, the first 20 people I helped, 10 of them got to 100%.
Wow.
And that's where my son comes in after that.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to talk now? Is he supposed to talk?
Yeah. Waiting on Ed's permission. I didn't want to.
No, because I mean, people don't understand. I run into people all the time who don't know. I mean, even I got 10% and didn't push it. You know what I mean? For you, and because I'm like, and a lot of people who have it, they're like, I'm not that bad off. I'll let the other vets. I'm like, that's not how it works. Because I'm in the mortgage business, so I do a lot of VA loans. That is what I do a ton of. And it's because I want to help vets get into homes, because that's how you change the trajectory of your life and, buy investment property, all that different stuff. But that's where I'm at with it. But I was telling you before, this is something I think is so important that it needs more to help more vets.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are going to be getting out here, because it's going to be changing here soon, and they're going to be all hurt from the, because I deal with a lot of them. I don't know if you see that where it says Operation Firewalk right there.com. We put on a Firewalk event for veterans here locally last year, April 12th and 13th, when it was we had 2 keynote speakers, and then at the end of the night, each night, separate nights, you actually walked across Kohl's like you were at a Tony Robbins event, because we had a guy who worked for Tony Robbins for 22 years run that part of it. So first in the nation, veteran Firewalk. We're doing it again May 3rd, 2025.
Yeah.
So come on out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm here to help vets. So all right. So what do we need your son to help us understand?
He's gonna join in on why we even made this call today, and I'll set him up for it. So during COVID, he just calls me. One it may have been May the year COVID started, something like that. And one of our father-son conversations, like, Dad, what are you doing? I said, I'm helping vets get their VA benefits. Of course, my son is a CPA. He was in the finance world. He knows nothing about veterans. At least he didn't at that time. And he asked questions. So what are you doing? How are you doing it? And 5 minutes into the conversation, he says, we can make this an online course. Of course, I'm like, son, I don't know about that, because this is not my world. I'm old school teaching, all this podcast stuff. It wasn't my world. He's, Dad. So he drives from Atlanta, Georgia, comes to South Louisiana, sits right in his office and tells me what we were going to do. And that's why we're talking to you today. And this is where he comes in. Go ahead, son.
All right. Thanks for that pass, Pops. Yeah, I mean, I guess give my quick background here, Ed. I graduated high school in 2006, went to Ole Miss, got my bachelor's and master's in accounting. And like my dad said, I'm a CPA, inactive currently. Spent about 9 years in the corporate world, accounting, auditing. My last 5 were at Home Depot in their corporate office here in Atlanta. And like my dad said, 2020, I was talking to him. He was telling me about what he was doing. And, I've always kind of been entrepreneurial. My dad would tell you when I was younger, I started cutting grass, and he gave me a loan to buy a lawnmower. And I went and knocked on doors, cut grass, and did all that, and was entrepreneurial all throughout, college and into the future. And then also learn the ins and outs of small and large businesses. So, but at the time in 2020, I was thinking, I was ready. It was fertile ground for me to go out and kind of do my own thing. And talking to my dad and hearing what he was doing, understanding that he was giving value and information that was changing lives, that was just not readily available. The first thing I thought was, oh, well, this should be an online course to help out vets. Like, why is this not easily out there for every vet to really get the teaching in a really systematic way? And so I was telling them about it, heard what he was saying, and he was like, all right, well, let's come out, let's go ahead and figure it out. I went down to Louisiana. I think he said he was a little bit skeptical at first, but I went down to Louisiana, spent about a week with them, and we came up with the idea of what we're doing now at Champions for Veterans and the Ranger method, his 6 steps to help vets get their benefits. And
so it's just and please don't take this wrong. It's a course, and let me back up a sec. Do you guys use High Level? Do you use some other company to put it?
We use Kartra as our hosting platform. Okay. But yeah, it's basically like it's an online course, coaching calls, weekly coaching calls, online private community, help desk where they can submit questions. And so basically kind of giving that support multiple angles. You get the information, you get instruction and motivation and inspiration. And as you can see, of course, he is a motivator and an inspirer. And, you also get that support 5 days a week, submit an email, submit through the help desk. And we'll be able to kind of give some direction using that as well. And since 2020, we have over 1,300 vets in our program, served over 5,000 with free consultations. And that's how we usually start, is just free consultation. We can kind of have you do an assessment, understand what you're eligible for, and then give you the steps to kind of move forward. You can use our program, you can not. But, we've served so many vets doing this since 2020 and have some bigger things coming down the pipe actually in process right now, which I definitely want to get into. But I want to make sure I've hit on the big things. We've been doing this for 4 years now. And I don't know if you had any questions about what we've been doing before I get into what we're about to do.
Well, let's back up a second. So you do the course. People go through the course. I assume. I'm sorry. Is there 2? I can only do one at a time.
No, you're good. And I want to talk about the course because you're probably heading that way. But go ahead. No,
I'm just trying to understand. So, because a lot of times people. So this show has turned from just transition and what you're doing into more of. I've dealt with more people who have businesses now as veterans, because there's 50% of us that go into business, and we're amazing at it because, one, we were in the military. We have attention to detail. We know all the stuff that we've learned, and it's great for business. Not necessarily working with employees at your business, but it's good for business in general. So you have to get other people to work with those civilian employees. But other than that, it's so unless you hire all vets, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Sometimes you're a little too direct. That is what I'm told. But I tell people I'm in the mortgage industry. I have to be direct because I have to tell you how it is. So you don't come back later and tell me you didn't say this. I don't care. I told you, I go through it all. All right. So the course, you started with the course, and how did that go? I mean, how long did it take for it to really take off and the course get moving?
Man, so we were having this conversation in the spring. Didn't really do anything with it until probably early summer. I quit my job early July before we even had the course built, and even had a market for people that were ready to kind of get going with it. But put my 2 weeks notice in. Literally the weekend after I quit my job, we were going after it, talking to vets, sharing what we were doing. And we basically started off with talking to vets, really seeing what they were interested in the course. We had an idea of what would be in the course, obviously, because my dad had already been teaching folks one-on-one, but we wanted to get a better idea if there was any other input from other folks. And I mean, we literally were telling people what the course was going to be, and folks were like, oh yeah, I'm in. How much is it? And so, it was pretty much like that from the beginning. We started in July, kind of talking to vets. People wanted to kind of get in early. And my dad taught it live beginning, I believe, end of August. August of 2020. And we was on Zoom. We put the recordings in Google Drive and the presentations in Google Drive. And before we didn't have a website when we got started, which is pretty incredible. But people would get on calls with us, and our passion, obviously my dad's passion, and it shines through on a Zoom call, and just the reality of the experience that he has had with helping other vets. So much of this was his experience after 3 years of helping one-on-one. But, after we kind of put it out there and we started to see people get their benefits from not even having a conversation with us. Well, everybody would have a conversation with us initially, but now we have folks who get on, we never even talked to, and we get an email, oh, I got 100% with your program. Thanks a lot. And so, which is just incredible for us. So, but yeah, it's definitely evolved over the years. We had we have one employee part-time. We've had multiple employees. We've made adjustments and shifted, and our business has of course, the pandemic and things of that nature has seen shifts, but we've both been full-time in this since 2020, and it's been awesome.
Yeah. And, let me just say something. When people join, they can't get in the course. The course is just sitting out there. So you can get in the course and just work it through yourself without talking to us. You can click join, pay your money, get in the course and do it. We have Tuesday night coaching calls every Tuesday night at 20 hours Eastern Standard Time, where I'll come up. Like tonight, I'll actually be teaching one of our lessons in the course. And then every week is something different. I'll have people that have gotten certain percentages through our course. They'll come on and talk. Guests. We'll have guests that don't have anything to do with us, that maybe in the VA system and other people come on and talk. Or we'll have one-on-one coaching. So you could join. You can say, you know what? The course looks good, but I want one-on-one coaching. So we have veterans like myself and the others I've trained to coach people all the way through getting their benefits. And like I tell vets, man, I don't have any tricks for you. All right. Tricks are for kids. This is what we do. We have, different fees that we set. We do. We don't gouge you in any kind of way, and we tell you, and we help you get your VA benefits. So that's what it is. If you're looking for tricks, don't call us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just straight up, boom, boom, boom. You get to work in it. And we've had vets from Vietnam vets and we had every story, right? Never filed. Vietnam vet, 50 years out of Vietnam. Well, we had one last year, helped him go from 0 to 100% in 4 months.
Wow.
Okay. Had another Vietnam vet, never filed. It took us about 2 years. Never went on sick call when I was in. They're probably not going to help me. Well, we've helped those vets go from 0 to 100, 0 to 70, 80. So it doesn't matter what your story is. Trust me, vets, we've heard your story. You think, well, the VA screwed me over. I'm just at 40. We've helped those vets go from 40 to 100. It does not matter what your story. This is what I tell vets. Tell the truth. My problem with us, Ed, is we lie. I lied for years. I'm fine. No problem. Ranger, Green Beret. Rah, until my back started going out. And I started saying, well, maybe I do need more help. And my wife started looking at me like, you need to take this serious and go for your VA benefits. Okay. There's no shame in saying I'm hurt. There's no shame in saying I need some help. And this is the key, and you said it. These benefits don't belong to anybody but you. Give them to someone who needs it more. Who's going to take care of your family? And this is what I tell vets. Believe it or not, 100% from the VA will change your life. Not just the money. What about no taxes on your home? What about Champ VA medical insurance for your family if you're not already retired? What about the taxes you pay on tags for your vehicle? What about being able for your wife to go to school on Title 35 when you get to 100%? What about your kids going to college for free and getting a $1,400 check every month because you're 100%? Oh, you done got me fired up now, brother.
So, I didn't do anything.
Right? So it's about changing people's lives, and not playing games because we know you need these benefits.
Yeah. And I think that's important. That's how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to ask a couple questions. Cost-wise, for somebody to go through your course, what does that run?
Good.
Yeah. I'll go into that a little bit.
You don't have to go a lot. Just real quick. I don't have to be specific. It's just people are going to want to know kind of what it is.
Right. Yeah. $997 currently to get into our course. And then we have coaching packages that vary. If you need one-on-one coaching, you can kind of get those options. It really depends on what package you choose. But right now, you see a lot of folks that may charge you a percentage of your back pay or amount times your increase. Our program basically works as it's a set $5,000 pay later, where you don't pay anything. We want to get paid out of your back pay. So it's at least a year out of you after you sign, or once you get your increase in your rating, whichever comes first. You get access to our course, one-on-one coaching, 5 sessions, the same things you get with our regular course, help desk, community, weekly coaching calls. And we've consistently seen success with that coaching, because at the end of the day, like we said, we want to get paid later on, and we have a set fee because we don't want it to be dependent on your increase. We want to be you're paying for the services you receive, not necessarily based on whatever your increase is. So we've helped people go 0 to 100%, pay the same thing at 0 to 50%, you know. But I will say, one of the main reasons I wanted to get on this call was to talk about what we have coming down the pipe, which is we're actually on Veterans Day, we'll be going live with our new SaaS service, which is called VA Claim Builder, which is vaclaimbuilder.com. Vets can go on there right now, join the wait list. If it's after Veterans Day, they'll be able to go in and create an account completely for free. We've built this, you know, self-funded, had a developer create something. We understand how this process should be walked through. One of the most important things that we see within this process is a veteran telling their true story in a way that the VA can understand. And that's writing statements, getting buddy statements, whether it's a buddy from the service, spouse, somebody in your life who can also vouch for what you've been through. And basically this SaaS is going to help them to do that in a very systematic, clear way to be able to put that into their claim completely free. Like I said, our goal is for every veteran to get their benefits. One of our major goals is for 100,000 vets to get their benefits by 2025. They can go to vaclaimbuilder.com and start the process and build out a solid foundation and move forward to apply for their claim or their benefits in a really solid way. So, like I said, vaclaimbuilder.com, that's really the biggest thing right now. And the biggest reason right now is why we're getting on different podcasts and getting interviewed, because that's something that we know any vet can sign up immediately for and start working on their claim.
Wow. It's whatever you can do to help people get through that process, because there's no, I mean, and we talked about, I think before we went live, how there's a lot of companies charging a lot of money. And if you get $100,000 back pay, that's a lot of money for 30%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you know, and straight up, you know, just like my son said, I want to make sure just people understand with our course, you join our course where you do it on your own. That's $997 one time. And all the details are online, just like you talked about. But the coaching programs, we bring so much value in the coaching program where, you know, just say you want me to coach you. You know, you pay $1 and you sign a contract and you give us $5,000 on your back end. But that's getting one-on-one coaching, and we walking you through everything, showing you everything. And like I tell everybody, I give you the answers to the test. You know, it's like if someone's taking an ASVAB and said, man, what's the ASVAB? Okay, brother, here are the answers to the VA test. That's what I do. I give you the answers to the test, and that's what I didn't have when I first started. So there you go.
You got to know what to say and what not to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I've seen many TikToks and people like said that, you know, if you don't tell them you've had issues through your childhood, because they'll use it against you.
Yeah.
You just tell them you have a great childhood that you remember.
Yeah. No father-mother issues, just wonderful. If you go in there and father-mother issues, you had anxiety and depression before you joined the military, they're writing notes.
Right.
No, don't do it.
Well, I mean, from doing this show, and I'm just going to throw it out there, 80% of the people go in the military who have some type of PTSD has something from their childhood that they need to deal with. I've interviewed many VA people who've been in the VA for 30 years, and I asked them, I said, have you ever seen that a lot of people who have PTSD potentially have something from their childhood that exacerbated that whole thing? And I said, because first of all, no sane person run towards danger. It's always insane people who run towards danger. So.
There you go, brother. Good deal.
All right. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys coming on here. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we go? Call it a day?
No, I mean, like I said, the main thing is I want every veteran who's listening to this, go to vaclaimbuilder.com, you know, to get your process, get your claim started, and share with other vets, as many as you possibly can. So we can help 100,000 vets plus by the end of 2025 get their VA benefits. It's life-changing, and we love to do it, and we want to just help them. So
I just want to clarify. The course is $997.
Yep.
And then if you want coaching, then you just pay $5,000 later, or do you do both?
Well, so if you join the course, if you pay the $997, it's actually discounted. The coaching is $3,500 if you get coaching on the back end, but it's paid once you get your increase or a year for signing the contract sooner.
But if you're signing up for just coaching, you pay the $997 up front.
No, you sign up for just coaching. You don't pay anything. We basically pay
No,
$1 when you sign the contract, but then you,
No, I mean, okay, let me back up a second. So the course itself is
Right.
$997.
Yes.
You just do the course. You pay just the course.
Yes. If you just want the course, you can just pay for the course. You don't need the coaching.
All right. But then if you change your mind and say, hey, I want coaching, I want you guys to help me and all this stuff, then you guys will prorate the difference. You'll say, okay, what's this amount in the future? So if somebody signed up and said, I don't want to do the course, I want you guys to handle it and give me one-on-one, do you still have to buy the course?
No, well, it's included with that initial contract. So you get everything. Everything
with $5,000. I'm just trying to clarify so people understand. So basically, then why wouldn't you just do the $5,000?
Yeah, a lot of people come off the street and just say, you know what, this is normally what happens. When we brief them, and I say you can get one-on-one coaching, one of our coaches with me or one of the guys I've trained, $1 up front, $5,000 on the back end. A lot of people just say, well, look, you're going to teach me everything I need to know, and I pay on the back end. I'll pay the dollar and pay on the back end. Right. A lot of people do that, but some people sign up and do the coaching too. Some, it just depends. Some people are good with computers, and they may say, you know what, I think I'll just pay $997 to get in and follow along on the computer and do it on my own. It just depends.
All right. Right. Then now Claim Builder, VA Claim Builder. All right. That's what it was. VAClaimbuilder.com.
Yes.
What's the cost of that? Or is that just to help you through the process?
It's completely free. They can go on and create an account and use it completely free, no charge. And that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. So with that, but here, let's back up. Then there's no coaching with that.
No coaching with that. No, basically what it does is helps them to build out the foundation. They write their statements. They can gather their evidence using what's being taught within that. And then they can, it doesn't show you how to file your claim. Where do you go on the VA website? It doesn't coach you through how to build up your medical evidence. It doesn't coach you through how to do your CMP exams. These are all different individual pieces of the process. It's really the beginning foundation piece that we've seen that many vets don't realize is telling your true story, writing your statement in the language that the VA can understand. Now that's the foundation of it. Folks can actually go on, they can get our course if they want to. After that, they can sign up for a consultation and get coaching after that, but you don't necessarily need it. Our goal is to make sure you get support completely free up front.
Okay. I just want to clarify for people who are listening. And your guys' website is, because you didn't put in your names.
Yeah. www.championsforveterans.com is our main website. They can go on there and book a consultation. And VA Claim Builder, www.vaclaimbuilder.com is where they can go on, create an account, and start using that site immediately once it goes live on Veterans Day.
Okay. And then if somebody wants to reach out to you guys, how do they find you? So, I mean, you guys on social media, anywhere else?
Oh, yeah. We're all over LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I would say LinkedIn is probably our most used platform right now. So you can find me, Gino Johnson, and then, of course, Ranger Johnson. You can also go to our actual business site is on LinkedIn. We have a business page, Champions for Veterans. And they can go and check us out there as well.
All right. I appreciate what you guys are doing for veterans. Thank you.
Happy to do it.
Thanks for being here today. I appreciate you both being here. Don't run away. Stay right there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for being here.